Yo, Win Column fam, it is the Win Column podcast. It's episode 6, man. It's your boy Kev here, and I am here with my man D Will. I'll let the folk.
Win Column fam, how you doing? It's your boy Dev.
Yeah, man, we here. Look, I want to start by appreciating the folks who have been watching the player breakdowns. I mean, I really do appreciate it. Y'all comments, y'all likes, y'all subscribes. I really am doing it off the strength of knowing that a whole NFL season can go by without you really getting a good look at your fantasy players, and just knowing that, you know, the fantasy community, I don't know if you feel this way, Devin, but like you hear a lot of people talking, everybody be looking at the numbers, but football is real. You know what I mean? There's 11 guys out there. There's stuff that's happening, and like, you kind of need to be able to see, okay, what is this player doing? Like, where are the holes?
And where these stats coming from?
Right, exactly.
How they getting these stats?
Exactly. And the guys who aren't getting them, what are the things? Because, man, football is a very real sport where very talented players can just be in situations where it's not good. So, look, if your friends aren't watching, but you are, and you picking up something and it's helping you make trades or line up decisions, I hope it's just the right ones so that y'all don't get mad at me.
Don't kill the messenger.
Right. Yeah,
don't kill the messenger.
Exactly. But honestly, I really want to just start by saying I really do appreciate that for any of those people who are new to this channel. And that's how they, got to know what we do. Man, with that being said, what we like to do in this podcast, man, this is a homie podcast, man. We just sit back. We talk about some of the stuff in sports, man, and we just, I like to use Stephen A's word bloviate. I don't even know what that shit means. I've never looked it up. I won't. But we like to sit back and bloviate.
We do a lot of bloviating.
Right. Let's just bloviate.
A lot of bloviating where we wish a mic was in front of us after we get done bloviating.
Right. That's the facts about it. It's what's funny is that we do so much pre-gaming before these podcasts that it's hard. It's like you almost have to stop talking about sports and make sure that the talk is about other things so that we don't, you know what I mean? So that these talks can stay natural.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's been at least two to three times where we've been sitting here chilling and sports has came up while we were sipping or whatever, and we had to tell each other, hey, let's stop. Let's stop talking. You know what I mean? Let's stop talking.
Let's save that. So we're missing the new guest, Vel, my brother from another.
Yes, sir.
And we missing Wink, make him think, and all that other whatever it is.
Wink, make him blink.
Right.
Love you, bro.
Don't blink. Yeah.
Don't blink, bro.
Right. So we love the guy. He's not here. He twisted his ankle. Jumping off the Blazers bandwagon. He was wearing flip-flops, so it was just hard for him to it was hard for him to keep his footing. So y'all just, wish that man good health. You know what I mean? But look, it's a lot going on right now. I mean, is it really? But
it's a lot. It's a lot of sports going on right now for real.
No, it is. We back to sports. I mean, a lot of things are not yet normal in the world, but in the sports world, we back to it. NFL, we not exactly a football only kind of thing around here, but y'all would think we are. I'm doing the football player breakdowns and everything, but besides all that, look, I mean, it's America's pastime. Baseball has been surpassed when it comes to that. So look,
it has.
And we love it. And right now, right, if I had to think, the biggest thing that just happened is that
talk about it.
The Chiefs beat the brakes off my Ravens. And
we watched that game together, by the way.
We did watch it together. You would say, though, I'm a sports realist, so I wasn't in my feelings too much. It's not like I like to see us get messed up like that.
Right.
I was begging Andy Reid to take mercy.
I told you he don't fuck with the Eagles, so don't think that Harbaugh gonna get any kind of leeway.
Right, and he didn't. So that's what it was. But what's real interesting to me is like, man, who at this point, we 3 weeks in, so it's hard to say. But really, when you think about it, the teams that we thought were the best teams do look like the best teams.
Right.
But the question I have is, who do you think is the best of the best?
So, to me, I mean, Monday night just happened. It's Tuesday. Well, about to be Wednesday in 15 minutes. I mean, the Chiefs are the best team in the league right now. And it definitely all starts with, to me, with most NFL teams, it's having the best player on your team being a quarterback. And when you have Pat Mahomes, who's not just the best player on their team, but the best player in the NFL, being able to do what he does, it just makes things difficult. And the fact that, you got to put up at least 30 on them. You know what I'm saying? And, 90% of the time, you got to put up 30. And when you can't do that, or when you come from behind, it's just very, very difficult to catch up to them, to meet them and what they're doing, because they're already so talented. And I bring up Pat Mahomes, but then you got just the, I don't want to say the background singers, because there's a lot of all pros on that team, from Tyreek Hill to Kelsey, and
it's like the Temptations.
We're gonna switch this thing around. You know what I'm saying? Like, who wants to lead sing tonight? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like. And it's just too much, you know what I mean? You got so much speed in that team, where I heard something last night where they're like, yeah, Sammy Watkins is the slowest player on that team at like a 4.41 or something, 4.43, something like that.
I would say he was a 4.3 guy. Mm-hmm. He's probably around 4.5. I feel 4.41 is
right now.
Yeah. 4.41 is even generous.
And then what do you get, like McCole Hartman and Tyreek Hill?
Man.
And then you got a big body at Travis Kelsey, who's probably the best tight end in the league.
But that's the thing about Tyreek Hill. Like, when he was watching that game yesterday, he might as well be 6'5", 250.
That touchdown.
Right, because he's thickly built. And the thing about it, on that touchdown, from my estimation, just watching it, he made himself at least the size of A.J. Green by jumping like a 35-inch vertical and then just skying out with his hands to catch that ball, and then coming down with 2 feet like it was nothing.
It's routine.
He made that look so easy at his size.
Yeah.
The athlete he is, he may truly, genuinely be like one of the best athletes I've ever seen in my 32 years, flat out.
Yeah, as far as Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we talked, when that play happened, we both were in amazement by the play. And what like you said, the first thing I brought up, like I just said, was Patrick Mahomes, whereas though, you could have put that over the right shoulder of Tyreek Hill and it might have got deflected, you know what I'm saying? Just where he placed it. But he kind of puts it, at his left collarbone, kind of. And he, like you said, he had the opportunity to
where the
jump
defender's
up.
angle just makes it impossible.
Yeah, Marcus, I think it was Marcus Peters at the time.
Yeah, I think it was, yeah.
Couldn't, where he put it, he just couldn't have got to that ball. And like you said, Tyreek Hill stretched out, jumped up. Like he probably could have dunked on that play and brought the ball in. So it just makes it difficult to pick. To defend them, which is why I have them being the best team in the league. And I'm not even bringing up their defense, where you have Tyrann Mathieu and Frank Clark, where
Chris Jones.
Chris Jones definitely.
Well, no, it's not like that dude can't ball too.
Yeah.
Chris Jones is out this joint.
Yeah. Chris Jones, like, if you didn't know who Chris Jones was before and you watched that whole game last night, then you definitely knew who he was, because he was either making plays in the run game or making plays as far as just getting to Lamar, where I think Lamar got sacked like 4 times, or whatever the case may be. And when you think of
I believe.
when you think of a quarterback, that the skill set of him and being able to get away from anybody in the league, and he got sacked 4 times, it just kind of gives you credit to that. And you don't think of, Kansas City for that matter as far as their defense. So to me, I think Kansas City is the best team in the league right now. You know what I'm saying? But I'm curious to see do you agree or disagree?
It's hard to go against Kansas City. You know what I mean? We're in week 3. We're coming off of the playoff stretch that they were just on. And it's like, when you early in the season, everybody tends to want to count what you were doing last year. You ever notice that?
For sure.
Like when the leagues start, they'll talk about, well, he hasn't thrown an interception since. And they'll go back.
And 10 games.
Right.
And we're in week 2.
Right, exactly.
Right.
But once you get into like week 8, they'll stop bringing up last year totally.
Right, totally agree.
So in this snapshot of Chiefs play from like going into the playoffs on to now, there is no team as dominant as them, period.
I agree.
Because Pat Mahomes has just been on a whole nother level of wreckage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just been a whole other thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. The thing that he can do as far as, and it also credits his baseball background, that like we watching that game and it's like, damn, like I saw Chris Kyle say something where it's like 3rd and 12, 3rd and 15 isn't really nothing to them.
Yeah, man. I mean,
I want to know how you feel, especially being an AFC Ravens fan that you are. Like,
how do I feel about having that team being our division?
And what's your whole entire take as far as just what you saw last night and what you expect to see moving forward?
Well, I mean, look, as a Ravens fan, the fan in me, I definitely don't like it. It's almost impossible for me not to like Pat Mahomes because, as you'll know, I was there early. So at the end of the day, like,
Project Pat is what you called him.
Yeah, I used to call him Project Pat. He doesn't get to be Project Pat anymore.
Not because he's a project.
It was right.
You know what I'm saying? But for all the Rat fans,
right, exactly.
You'll know what that means.
Right. It's what you call a beast named Pat. Project is a legend.
Right.
So that's what it is. But at the end of the day, now he's like a true opponent of ours to get to where we want to be. In reality, here it is for me, to keep it short as a Ravens fan. We have a certain place in the AFC, and we are the spoiler. In reality, that's what we are. Lamar has kind of made us premiere Monday night games, Sunday night games, right? That's really, in Baltimore, our coaches, our players have always complained. We don't get home Monday night games. We don't get home Sunday night games. We're one of the best teams in the league. We've been that way for so long, but we don't play prime time as much as Dallas, as much as Seattle, as much as New York, as much as, all these other teams. Lamar has made us a household name. But at the end of the day, our identity is still the underdog, where we get our energy from people not believing in us. The Chiefs just blessed us to give us back that nobody's going to believe in us that we need, because that's what we really thrive off of. So I thank the Chiefs. You know what I'm saying?
You were saying that yesterday.
Papa bless.
Yeah, you were saying that yesterday, how that game kind of is going to assist y'all, because there's still 13 games left in this season.
Exactly.
That's what people don't fail to realize. Right. It's like,
that was not the AFC championship.
Right. And I didn't think y'all would go 16-0. Right.
Some people said that we would.
I saw that.
Not Peter King. Peter King picked us to win the Super Bowl, but somebody else in the media picked us to go 16-0. So with that,
it might have been Coward.
It might have been. At the end of the day, look, we're still a good team. Lamar is still a good quarterback that has a ways to go. I mean, he's still young. There's issues there, but I want this year to be a year of struggle so that he gets through those issues. And we'll get to learn whether he is the future or not through a year of struggle. And I don't want him to not be the future. I'm rooting for him. I want him to be our quarterback forever. He has Ray Lewis was on the cover of Madden, but that's like one of how many defenders have been? He might still be like the only defensive player.
Did Aaron Donald get on it?
No. Ray Lewis might still be like the only defensive player to been on the cover of Madden.
Yeah.
That was a whole different identity of football and a whole different era. So, I mean, I'm always cautious of I don't want to go on too much about the Ravens being a fan, but I will say that it doesn't bother me that the Chiefs are the top. We've seen this. We've had to deal with Peyton Manning. We've had to deal with Tom Brady. We've had to deal with a lot of people would probably, if they listening, kind of turn their nose up, Carson Palmer. But I remember Carson Palmer differently than a lot of people because that man was an animal.
Yeah.
If he didn't get hurt against against the Steelers in the playoffs, that changed his career.
Right.
Carson Palmer was a problem.
Right.
With TJ and
Ocho.
And Henry, Chris Henry,
Cedric
who ended
Benson
up
on the
dying.
rock.
Yeah, and Cedric Benson. That team was a problem.
It was.
Trust me. If you forgot.
And Marvin Lewis is a defensive mind.
Yes.
And so that
and he caused problems for the Steelers, for the Ravens. I mean, Cincinnati with Carson Palmer was about to be something special until he got his leg rolled up on back in the era where you didn't really come back from ACL tears, which wasn't that long ago, but that's how much the technology has changed. You just said it. What was the name you just said?
Cedric Benson?
No. The other quarterback. Ben
Ben.
Roethlisberger. So, I mean, we've seen the Steelers, but really in the last, what I think is like 10 or 12 years, has been Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Joe Flacco, and Ben Roethlisberger, the only quarterbacks to win the Super Bowl out of AFC. We're going to stay in that conversation, and I know we will, so fuck it. Fuck the Chiefs.
It's a game.
They may get 3, they may get 4. We're going to find a way to get 1. One of them years that everybody got them, bet on us, and you're going to win a lot of money. That's the way I'll put that.
Right.
Outside of that, let's switch over to the NFC before I end up talking about the Ravens for the whole podcast or the AFC. You got the Chiefs. A lot of people had the Ravens as the second best team. They might be changing that now. The Bills are there.
Josh Allen doing his thing.
The Patriots are there.
Sure.
Begrudgingly, I say the Patriots are there.
For sure. I'm gonna catch up, but the Patriots are doing it, and however you got to do it,
right?
It's not
which has
finesse.
Always been them.
And the thing about them also, I know we're about to go into the NFC,
right?
But Cam is on a 1-year deal,
yeah.
So they're using Cam like he a rental car,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You get a rental car, speed,
but they also doing things for Cam that's going to help him if he don't resign there, because when he has looked good in the passing game, he's looked good in a way that he never looked before, to the point where it's like, okay, Cam can be more precise than we thought. And it's making you be like, oh, this is New England Cam.
Right.
This is a different Cam. People didn't think the Edelman connection would really be there because they were like, Cam isn't precise.
I drafted Edelman.
I was about to say, and something that I know that you're going to let people know that you had confidence in.
Definitely drafted Edelman in fantasy draft. Not too high.
Take it away from you.
But right when I needed to draft Edelman, I definitely drafted him. And he's been assisting with me being number 2 in our league right now.
This is me trying to be positive on some podcasts, like, you know what I mean? Like, but I should have been everyday Kev and took that away from you. I tried to get in front of it.
Threw that oop to me, dog.
Right, but it ended up being an oop. But no, for real. But you're right, though. You're absolutely right. And,
that run game is like number 1 in the league right now.
Yeah. I mean, and Oakland gave them some trouble, but Oakland exposed, and I say exposed positively, the fact that, okay, no, this is the Patriots. Because, like, for a second, it was like, okay, Cam just going to do everything. But then you saw a team slow Cam down and them just be like, oh, okay, well, we'll just hand the ball off to all these other people. Since you came in here ready to stop Cam,
right?
That means you're not ready to stop Rex Burkhead. You're not ready to stop Sony Michel. So we'll just do it to you that way.
And and for you to say that, that's 2 entities of the Patriots that are still on that team who I am like the highest of high about, if you know me,
Didn't
as far as
this time.
Belichick and Josh McDaniels, where like, I don't know, man. When McCarthy left I'm gonna go to my Packers. When McCarthy left the Packers, and Josh McDaniels was like, he's only going to interview for the Packers, I was super excited. You know what I'm saying? Just of what he does in his pedigree. And Belichick is the best damn near coach in all of sports. You know what I mean? And
I've been skeptical of Josh McDaniels. But now, going back to New England might have been the best thing that ever happened to him. And then, hindsight 2020, I now blame everything that didn't happen right when Josh McDaniels was with the Broncos on Adam Gase.
Adam Gase is horrible.
Adam Gase is the worst coach in the history of coaching ever.
Horrible.
You had Tebow, but that was Josh McDaniels. But he got credit for it.
Right.
Then he keeps his job and Peyton Manning comes to town, and he got credit for that. Then you go to Miami. What were we saying about Tannehill?
Tannehill. I was just about to say, though. Tannehill.
Adam Gase was
I was
coach.
saying that about Tannehill. Like,
Right.
yo, y'all gave Tannehill what? Tannehill's doing. He's starting over what? Like, over
Lord
Mariota?
Almighty.
Like, what you doing? And
Lord Almighty.
it just shows. And even now, you hear folks saying how bad Sam Darnold is,
Right.
and how Sam.
What
like,
if he's not that bad?
Should you take out? Who's the Jets backup?
Joe Flacco.
Isn't he hurt?
No, real talk. The Jets backup.
But he's hurt though.
But
I
he
think.
just came back.
And then you're missing Le'Veon.
Joe fucking Flacco.
Yeah, C.J. Mosley opted out on defense.
Hold on 1 second. Do not have the thought ready.
Mm-hmm.
Quick side joint for C.J. Mosley. You bitch. C.J. Mosley, you bitch. That's not what you do in Baltimore. When he went and took the most money and went to the Jets, I was like, the Jets going to get exactly what they paid for. I've been watching C.J. Mosley for years, and he was not a Raven. He just wasn't. It's a certain attitude.
It's a pedigree to be a Raven.
Right, and he was not that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And the Jets got exactly what they paid for.
Yeah,
exactly what they paid for.
Yeah, with him opting out, you know what I'm saying, and Jameis Crowder being hurt, and just like they got a lot of issues going on with them right now, and to kind of pass that buck on to Sam Darnold, you know, I'm not the big Sam Darnold
also
fan.
King and Drake was hands off, goes to the Cardinals.
And he is like a, top 10 running back in fantasy.
This year, but
you know what I'm saying?
But,
You know what
I mean, he ended the year gangbusters.
Last year, yeah, exactly. So, yeah, man. I mean, Adam Gase is horrible. You know what I'm saying? But
so maybe Josh McDaniels is the guy.
Josh McDaniels is my man, yo. Like I've been saying it for some. You know me. I've been saying it for years. Like I wish. I guess it's a segue to. I mean, I wish that the Packers could get somebody like McDaniels to where as though you just
don't understand.
What's that?
All right. Like I said, I'm now blaming everything that didn't go right in Denver on Adam Gase because it just feels right. But why though? Is Josh McDaniels really like? Why?
Some folks aren't made to be head coaches though.
Which is absolutely true.
Not made to be head coach. And I think
Steve
Josh
Spagnuolo now has a championship with the Giants and with the Chiefs.
He's not a head coach.
He's just meant to coach defense.
Josh McDaniels isn't a head coach. You know what I'm saying? And when you got them kind
both teams, my bad, but just for people who maybe aren't as savvy or don't know shit, both teams bad on defense after Spagnuolo or without Spagnuolo.
Right.
Championships with Spagnuolo.
Yeah, man. And when you got the mindset, some folks can't. I'm gonna say multitask, but like, let me just focus on one thing. And Josh McDaniels is that kind of guy where it's like, offense is just where it's at. You know what I mean? For him, getting the ball out the quarterback's hands, different sets, different players, being able to also
but
identify.
He would have been your head coach if he took that job done.
Which is, I was gonna get into that.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
let me get out of the way. Let me sit back.
Which I was gonna get into that, but like, as an offensive mind, and with McCarthy leaving, that's what I wanted for my Packers. You know what I'm saying? But looking back on it, and also looking at this season and seeing how our defense is still like so porous and just an Achilles heel to us, kind of.
Alvin Kamara looked like he was just strolling through the park on that 51-yard touchdown. It was amazing. I take nothing from him.
Right. Yo, we give one of those up a year, at least one of those up a year.
But it was like y'all defensive players were, and I said this on the breakdown that I did when I was talking about Todd Gurley because I was showing the Seahawks defense, and he had some big runs against the Seahawks, and I said, because I know people would say it probably in the comments, the Seahawks defense this and that, but mentality. The Seahawks defense is not a mentality where you go strolling through their defense, right? It's like they give up plays, but there's an effort not to give up the play.
Right. You got some great players on that.
Right.
On that side
Somebody's
of the ball.
trying to take your fucking head off once you do get the ball. with the Packers, that mentality maybe I feel like that's what you're saying is that the mentality of once you're running in the open field, somebody's going to try to murder you.
Right. We don't have that.
Exist.
I think the only players we have on our side of the ball like that is, thank you, Ravens, Zadarius Smith, and then Adrian Amos. You know what I'm saying? And also,
that's a Chicago Bear. So
and also Baltimore native.
Who? What's the name?
Adrian Amos.
Yeah, Adrian. But y'all got another one though that I like. But he not a Baltimore native.
Who?
How has he been doing?
You talking about who we went back and forth about?
Nah, where did he play? Delaware? The safety?
You talking about to say Josh Jackson. Fuck, I can't even think. I'm throwing the brain fart right now. But
you're right about Adrian Amos.
Right. But also the third person I was gonna say was Jair Alexander. You know what I'm saying? But the funny thing is with that is he was also involved in that 51-yard run where he just kind of threw a shoulder at him, wanting him to go out of bounds. Where, like you said, when you got them players who just want to take your head off, if you got an inch between that white and that green on the out of bounds line, you're gonna feel this. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And we don't really have too much of that on defense. And also, Mike Pettin has been there a long time. Now, maybe 5-6 years now. I believe Mike Pettin's been our defensive coordinator, and I don't remember us having a great defense in that time frame. I think his first or second year.
What's y'all coach name again?
Matt LaFleur.
Mike Pettin came with him?
No, he was there before.
He kept Mike Pettin?
No, yeah, he kept Mike Pettin. When Mike McCarthy left, Mike Pettin stayed there. He's still there.
So one thing I've been able to do is I've been able to learn who can't coach football through this carousel of Browns coaches.
Okay. True.
And Mike Pettin can't coach football.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And I always say, like, for us, we a defense that is man-to-man, blitz 5 or 6, majority of been football, 30 to 40% of the time, and just rely on our secondary to just be out there. You know what I'm saying? And I just don't like that. You know what I mean? And that's also, not to kind of go back, but what we saw yesterday as far as, what the Ravens were, it's like we even talked about it, where why are you doing all this exotic shit where it's like, just play ball.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just like have your middle linebacker be a middle linebacker and have, throw cover 2, have 2 people over the top and just play defensive ball. And all that sexy stuff for certain quarterbacks like Drew Brees, like Pat Mahomes, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, who've seen Pat Mahomes is an anomaly, who've seen everything under the sun. You just got to play defense.
Quick sidetrack on that. You're so right. Because so much of that was from eras that have passed. Seriously, like if you come to coach defense with the Baltimore Ravens, on defense and offense, we've changed some things. We've added some plays, we taken some plays. If you ask John Harbaugh, it's all totally new. That's never true, right? You just add some shit, or you take out some shit, but your foundation never changes. And that was stuff that worked when we would play Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. But that era of football is kind of gone.
But also the thing about that is, what that era of football is, your front four was legit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like what the Ravens was, though, you didn't have to rush 5 or 6 or blitz 5 or 6.
Right.
You had like a Ray Lewis back there or Bart Scott back there.
That's the biggest thing is that you had a Ray Lewis that could change the play. As a Peyton was going Omaha, Ray was going Nebraska.
Murder.
Right. Yeah. Stab 1, 2, 3. So you had that counter. Right. At this point, you can't really play defense, yo. Let's just be real about it.
The league right now won't allow it. Yeah, nowadays, as far as how you protect the quarterback, how you can't touch a receiver, you know what I'm saying? How literally every flag you get more penalty yards on the offense than you do defense. It's just hard, you know what I'm saying, to actually play ball on the defensive side of the ball nowadays. So I do agree with you. I don't think you're being that old. I think it's just if you look at it, and most folks who know the game will say that as well, that
You can't play defense.
Nah, and it's also you got the most yarders of quarterbacks are just balling out right now. You know what I'm saying? Like running backs, you could grab a running back out of anywhere and they're gonna do all right.
This is why I rant so much about Roger Goodell and why I do not like him, because he did the owner's bidding, and we got to be realistic about whose bidding he was doing, because Bob Kraft has a lot of power.
I was gonna say, when you say owners, you mean like 3 or 4 of them?
It's a couple of them.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, like, yeah.
And when you think about how the game has changed, some of the most powerful owners at the time had quarterbacks that they wanted to keep protected, and they liked the points being scored because it was helping their bottom dollar. You had Bob Kraft having Tom Brady.
Right.
You had Tony Romo with
Jerry Jones.
With Jerry Jones,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
And it was just like, let's keep the points going. And then in Denver, you had Pat Bowlen and fucking John Elway, and you had Peyton Manning.
Right.
And we saw the Seahawks win a Super Bowl where they mauled the Broncos receivers.
Yeah.
The next year,
shit changed.
5-yard holding.
Shit changed.
You hold somebody, automatic first down. That has totally the 5-yard holding, automatic first down has totally changed the game.
Yeah.
To where there's no way to stop Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Because you can't be physical with the receivers.
Yeah, totally agree.
You got to let them run free.
Yeah, and it's crazy how like on offense it's a 10-yard penalty, no first down, but on defense it's a 5-yard penalty, automatic first down. Shit, against the Saints, we had at least 2 or 3 where I was like, all right. You know what I'm saying? Where like you throw a flag is thrown and you look around like, damn, what the fuck was called? And all of a sudden it's like holding 5-yard penalty defense automatic. Like, let's think about this. You have a 5-yard penalty,
automatic first down.
That don't make no goddamn sense.
It take 10 yards for you to get a first down, but you're telling me that a penalty that is done within 5 yards of a play, after 5 yards of a play, is an automatic first down.
Right.
That is the most ridiculous thing.
Right.
And honestly, because of it, to me, I take nothing away from Patrick Mahomes just in general. It's not like one of those things where like I'm not looking for a reason to say Michael Jordan is better than LeBron here.
Or Pat Mahomes is good because of this.
I'm not looking for that. I'm just saying that part of the reason that a guy like Patrick Mahomes is unstoppable is because any contact that I have with Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, McCole Hartman, fucking, what's the running back's name? Clyde Edwards-Helaire. After 5 yards means that I give them an automatic first down.
That's crazy.
To a team that could score without it. Means how can I defend them?
Yeah.
And I think that the thing is also the other part of Roger Goodell, when it comes to doing the owner's biddings, points make them money because points brings in...
Nobody wants to watch a 13-13 game.
Not real football fans.
Right.
And that's the point. That the casual fan wants to see the 35-30 game, right? The casual fan wants to see Russ cook, right? Because now it's going to be 4 or 5 touchdowns a game, because in reality, the only thing that was keeping them from doing it is the Seahawks being stuck in football that almost doesn't even exist anymore.
But let me ask this, but can you blame the owners for that?
This is the thing. I mean, like at the end of the day, if it was my money, it'd be the same. I would want it too, because they don't have any real connection to the integrity of the game.
Let's make
They're
that bottom
owners,
dollar.
they're businessmen.
Exactly.
What makes them able to buying an NFL team is the same kind of rarity amongst businessmen as being someone born good enough to play in the league.
When the last time an NFL team got bought? The
Jaguars.
Panthers. Wasn't it Panthers?
Oh no, it was the Panthers.
Yeah, the Panthers. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's like these folks who own NFL teams is going to be there for, especially how times is nowadays.
Because you own it.
As long as you don't say the word nigga,
right,
you gonna stay an NFL owner.
Don't say nigga, bitch.
Don't say
nothing.
Fuck women or nothing.
Right.
You're gonna be good as far as
Stay
in the
clean.
NFL space.
Right. No,
you know what I mean?
True. Even in a Black Lives Matter sensitive league where most of the owners do not patently don't believe in the bullshit.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
To be honest with you, right? All they got to do is pretend they do, like everything else, right? So at the end of the day, it is like, yeah, like. No, I feel you. Like that's that's actually a good question because it's on some being the realist about it.
Right.
Is that it's like that for a reason.
Yeah, it's like that. Like nobody like you said, the casual fan wants to see quarterbacks throwing for 300 yards in a game. All
the
these
NFL
touchdowns.
makes their money Sunday night, Monday night, Super Bowl.
Right. Where everybody's watching.
Everything else is about us real fans who have some kind of connection to it. Lifelong Packers fans like yourself.
Right.
Lifelong Ravens fans like myself who have the home. This is my home team. I'm from Baltimore. So it means that literally everything the Ravens do reflects on my city in some kind of way.
Right.
I am like emotionally attached to this team. That is a portion of their money. But the Super Bowl is the most watched event on television every year, year after year. And for them to bring in those people who don't want to see Baltimore Ravens Super Bowls, and that's why we are what we are, is that the NFL doesn't want there to be a team that can win a Super Bowl on defense.
Right.
It is what it is. What are you going to do about it? But let's get back to the NFC, though.
Okay.
Because this is good talk, and I feel like people should appreciate some of the shit we said.
Definitely.
Without even doing it on purpose, we went through...
Straight freestyle.
Right. Because for real, that is our era.
Speaking of Baltimore, straight King Los out here, you know what I'm saying?
Facts. You know what I'm saying? So, but for real, a lot of people saw the best teams in the AFC as being Chiefs, Ravens, Patriots, Bills, Titans. Literally
But even to that, most
teams.
in the AFC, most folks just saw it as Chiefs, Ravens, and 12 teams in the NFC.
And that's what I wanted to get to, because the other teams that you would talk about in the AFC are playing well. I don't want to do a disservice to those teams, but at the same time, I want to talk about the NFC teams because I'm still putting the Saints there, not as the best team. Out of respect for recency bias, they're not the best team in the NFC.
I was about to say, I remember at the AFC, we also forgot about the Steelers.
Oh, right. I mean, because they're easy to forget about after last year, but in present time, they're doing exactly what I thought they would do.
That defense,
I think their defense has some openings, though, to be exploited.
When I watched, I forgot what game it was, but the boy Bud Dupree
the Giants game.
balling. And then TJ Watt,
from contract
from last year and the year before, has been balling. And I think you had a conversation where who's the better Watt at this point? And
it's TJ right now.
Facts.
Yeah.
All the way, TJ.
TJ has a lack of injuries and youth on his side, though.
That's true, too.
JJ's dominance was better than any point of TJ's dominance.
That's true. Totally agree.
But TJ is a dominant motherfucker.
Yeah, he is.
It don't mean he ain't dominant.
Yeah.
It's just JJ's dominant was
Yeah, it was
first ballot Hall of Fame.
You didn't want my man to get a ring. MVP because
because JJ the year Aaron Rodgers' last MVP, I believe, was the year
2011. 2011, I think.
Yeah, JJ Watt was the MVP of NFL football, hands down.
I don't believe so.
In the true letter of the word MVP,
most valuable player.
You're talking about most valuable player, right? I could name, most people couldn't do it, probably. But I can name multiple other really good players on the Packers team. Not to say that if you take Aaron Rodgers off, that's not the same team, because he plays quarterback.
But we have 2 years where he was all the team.
But see, the thing about MVP that keep getting misconstrued with the quarterback position is that that's the most valuable position. That's the MVP of football because it's the most valuable position.
It is. It's also the hardest position to play in all of sports.
So it keeps going to quarterback, right? Whenever quarterbacks have an excellent year, it goes to them. But there has never been a greater example of defaulting to the quarterback position than there was when J.J. Watt lost the MVP to Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers had a great year.
He had like 45-6, and we went like 15-1 that year.
But y'all wasn't 15-1.
We did go 15-1. That was the year after the Super Bowl we won, and we lost.
That was not the 15-1 year when when Aaron Rodgers. Go to the phone. Pull your phone out.
Let me pull the phone out. What are we talking about when he won the MVP?
His last MVP was not the 15-1 year.
Let me see.
Wasn't that his second or his third one?
What, Aaron Rodgers? He only got 2.
Yeah, that was his second one.
Right.
The first one was the 15-1 year.
Oh, you might be right.
I am right. That's why I said go to the phone. You ain't even had to. We ain't even had to do you like that at this point.
You might be right. My apologies. Hold on, I'm looking though.
So the thing, it wasn't like, so you can tell me his stats. His stats were still good though. I know for sure that he still had like a good year. But that was like the ultimate, let's just give it to the quarterback, lazy ass MVP voting bullshit.
Yeah, I'm just quickly looking up like some stuff, in 2014, led the league in touchdowns, best passer to touchdown interception ratio, best passer rating that year, best completion percentage that year.
But you know how I'm about to get you though, Devin.
What? Yeah, what happened?
How long did we just now talk about how rule changes?
That was 2014, man.
See?
That was 2014. That was 6 years ago. Oh
my God.
You know what I'm saying? That was a long
whatever,
time ago.
man.
Oh, but back to let's NFC. I know we can.
Right. No. True. You're right though.
Because when we talk about NFC, we got to talk about a certain
So you
person.
conceded that because you do want to move on.
You got it.
So
you got it. You got it. Hey, you got it. You got it, Kev.
Who was we saying as far as teams though when we started
in the
NFC? I said the Saints.
You started with the Saints. And he stopped. And then
we got to respect the teams that have better records. I believe in doing that to some extent. So Saints are one of them, but they can't be the best. Who's the best team in the NFC?
The best team to me so far in the NFC. I want to say my Packers, but it's not. It's not. It's not the Packers. It's not the Packers.
Because I was about to say, if y'all don't know, but if you're listening, you should know by now. Devin is a Packers fan.
Huge Packers fan.
But it is probably between the Packers and the Seahawks, right?
Yeah, I was about to say Packers. But the thing about the Packers and the Seahawks is neither team has a defense. You know what I'm saying? And the only thing that I kind of give the Packers a slight edge over, which also can make them in the same realm or right there with each other, is the Packers has, I think, more players on defense, especially with Kenny Clark not playing.
I would say that too, though. The Packers have the more talented defense.
Right, has a more talented defense, but right now, the Seahawks have the better quarterback. Which, not even say right now, because the past couple of years, 3 years, the Seahawks have had the better quarterback. You know what I'm saying? But
you mean the Packers had a better quarterback?
No. The past 3 years, the Seahawks have had a better quarterback.
But you said the Seahawks got the better quarterback right now, too.
They do. Including right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was a little bit confused.
Yeah. Right now, as far as how they're playing, the Seahawks have the better quarterback.
For like the last 4 years.
Yeah, probably the last three years, I would say.
Y'all just don't know. Anybody listen to this? Oh, my God. Especially the people that know us. They'll wink. Anybody who knows us. Do y'all hear Devin right now?
No, especially Wink. Wink knows how much of a Seahawks... I don't want to say hater, I didn't hate them, but how I disdain and dislike the Seahawks.
But y'all have had some crazy games with the
exactly.
Seahawks.
And that's why I didn't like the Seahawks. You know what I'm saying? Especially them Richard Sherman, them years where, of course, the Bostic fumble, the fucking... the Hail Mary joint, which if we actually would have won that game, would have gave us
ref year,
which would have gave us it would have gave us a first round bye in that year.
Blew that,
you know what I'm saying? So
that's one of them true we win the game situations that don't exist. Like this, the Saints fans who think they could have. No, The Packers won that game.
Yeah, the Packers won that game. And like I said, if you go back and look at that record, we're one game back of getting a first round bye, and we didn't because of that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I've always had a little dislike for the Seahawks. They've never been disrespectful or nothing like that, because even Richard Sherman have always given props to Aaron Rodgers. But personally, I just didn't like them. They were a defense dominant team. Russell Wilson was
Those
new.
teams are always easy not to like.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Russell Wilson was new, so it was more Marshawn Lynch was really running that team.
Right.
So it's like, fuck Russell Wilson. But the past 3 years or so, Russell Wilson has really, like, again, shout out to Wink, Make It Blink, Don't Think. I forgot his tag. You know what I'm saying? I always talk to him about how I've got so much respect for Russell Wilson of the things he do.
That's like me with Brady.
Right. Because their defense has declined since then. And he's had to put up 30-plus points and comeback games and get out the pocket type of shit. And he's done that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, right now in the past 3 years, also, caveat, Aaron Rodgers has been hurt 2 of those years. So, you know, he by default, quote unquote, I guess gets that award as well for me. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, as far as the best team, kind of go back, the best team in the NFC. I mean, you can say Tampa. You know what I'm saying? But I
almost forgot about them. I'm surprised you said that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, but the Bears are 3-0.
The Tampa is not the best team in the NFC.
I will have to say the Packers or the Seahawks, and I will give this slight edge to the Packers. You know what I'm saying?
I'm honestly going to say the Packers.
Yeah, I will give this slight edge to the Packers. A reason because we're putting up the most points in the first 3 games and every, stat, while all you stat geeks, we done won Super Bowls or done gotten far in the playoffs when you've done certain shit like this. And also on our defense, what I've been noticing in the last 2 games.
Refresh me real quick, who have the Packers played so far?
We played the Vikings first. Mm-hmm. Shout out Reese. the Vikings first. One of my closest homies, you know what I'm saying? One of my love you but man. The Vikings first, then the Lions, and then the Saints.
Okay.
The past 2 games, we haven't had no pass rush whatsoever, and we couldn't stop a nosebleed as far as rushing. And Kenny Clark is one of the best interior linemen in the league. He got paid as that, you know what I'm saying? And he's been hurt. You know what I mean? So once he comes back, which I think would be in we have a bye week after we play the Falcons this week. He should be back within the next week after that. Hopefully will show a different Packers team on defense. You know what I'm saying? And once that takes place, then it'll probably actually really show the masses how great the Packers can be. And also, the fact that we put up 37 on the Saints, a pretty good defensive team without Devontae Adams, and the way Aaron Rodgers was playing ball the other day, where I saw Skip Bayless say that Drew Brees outplayed Aaron Rodgers, where, he might have missed 5 or 6 passes, but I would have to say 15.
Skip is so beholden to his own takes.
He hates Aaron Rodgers, my man. Hates LeBron, my man. You know what I'm saying? To where as though, Aaron Rodgers played like a quarterback on Sunday night. He quarterbacked that game. You know what I'm saying? And not just him. I want to give all the credit. Matt LaFleur, which also I bring back, kind of rewind with Josh McDaniels. Matt LaFleur, the way he called that game as far as running, and speaking of running, Aaron Jones, where you put him as far as best in the league? Well,
I mean, I don't know, because for real,
he had 160 something against Detroit.
So I honestly, I got to study some more, because this is the thing, I don't know much about him.
Okay.
I really don't. You know what I mean? I don't even be liking to really give my opinion if I haven't really watched the guy.
I like that.
But I will say Matt LaFleur, I did not want to like him because I'm on my give black coaches a chance.
Right.
And you know me.
Right, for sure.
I'm not even that kind of guy. But the NFL is so begrudging to the idea of giving a chance to us.
Right, for sure.
To be real.
For sure.
That it's the one area in my life where I'm extremely Afrocentric, because I'm just
a lot of folks like that
how
right
does
now.
Eric Bieniemy?
No, we talked about this yesterday.
How?
I don't understand how Eric Bieniemy does not have a head coaching job.
As Matt Nagy.
How?
Matt Nagy doesn't know how to be a head coach. Let's just be real about it.
I'm glad he is the head coach.
Right, because he's helping you as a Packers fan.
I'm glad. I'm pretty worried. I mean, if I was a Bears fan, I'd rather have Nick Foles than Mitch Trubisky. But yeah, I just don't understand.
And I'm not one of these, like, if you listen to this podcast, if you watch any of this content and you don't understand that I'm like a real sports guy, you just don't want to understand it, right? So, like, I'm not just talking out my ass. Eric Bieniemy, Terry Robisky, David Culley, they're all older.
Would you give Todd Bowles a chance?
Todd Bowles had a chance and didn't get a long enough
Right,
chance.
that's man. Would you give him another one?
Yeah.
For sure.
The Jets were better with him than they have been with Adam Gase.
He had the whole Geno Smith debacle.
Right.
Of all that. Whoever he got his ass whooped by and had to deal with all that. And like, no, I mean, that's just,
What's my guy?
Who's that?
Oh, shit. I mean, he won the Super Bowl with us. Started with the Colts. Took over for Dungy.
Black dude?
Yeah, was offense coordinator for us when we won the Super Bowl. Then he went to the Lions. They fired.
Blank Face.
Yeah, Blank Face.
Before Matt Patricia. He went like 9-7 and got fired. Damn, what the fuck is his name?
Yeah, for some reason can't remember.
He won a Super Bowl, didn't he?
Yeah, he won a Super Bowl with us.
Oh my god, he got the mustache and the blank.
Right. How is he not in coaching?
Right.
Look, and then you got all the college guys that's hopping over, the young guys and stuff like that. David Shaw is still in Stanford. You telling me that no NFL team think that they can turn David Shaw into the next great head coach?
Yeah, I don't.
That's the reason. I'm being honest with y'all. That's the reason I didn't want to like Matt Nagy. But to stay back on that subject, I will give Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy. What am I called? Matt LaFleur. LaFleur has been, to me, really good as the Packers head coach.
Yes.
And the thing is, I'm telling you, Devin, like for real, I would take the Packers at this particular time. We're not talking about the 49ers, and that's not because we're dissing them, but they have a lot of injuries that would make you say, okay, Jim
Caldwell.
I got it right before you said it.
Jim Caldwell.
I got it right before you said it. Yeah. We're not talking about the 49ers, and that's not to knock them, but they have so many injuries that they just have a road to get over. We're week 3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They got some big injuries.
Yeah,
big injuries.
So they have a lot to prove at this point. Their schedule make it so that they're going to be, I think schedule-wise, they'll be in the conversation. To whereas if they just get a few guys back, the ones who aren't season ending, we'll see where they are. But LaFleur,
I'm liking it. But but
and I don't know if he's making Aaron Jones or if it's Aaron Jones, and I got to see that.
See, for me, right, and you know this, when we first signed Matt LaFleur, I was like, what the fuck?
I was against it.
And I wanted fucking, I about to say Jim Caldwell. Now I can't think of his.
You wanted Josh McDaniels.
I wanted Josh McDaniels because again, he only wanted to interview with us. You know what I'm saying? And then after I did a little bit of research, and I was like, okay, let's see what happens. And I started seeing how quick the ball was coming out of Aaron's hands. How it wasn't always 5-step dropbacks and always in shotgun, and we're mixing things up. Where I was like, damn, this motherfucker really knows what's up. And that was last year. And then you come into year 2 where they keep talking about and again, I don't put a lot of stock into coaches and players talking about their own team during training camp because you're supposed to do that. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that they kept saying where it's like LaFleur and Rodgers would have like hour-long conversations about, hey, this is what I like. This is what I don't like. Hey, this is why I'm telling you this. This is why I want to do this. And they literally had that Sean Payton, Drew Brees relationship where,
which is important.
Though I've seen tape on Sean Payton and Drew Brees in like the whiteboard room or whatever, and their conversation without even looking up from their pens is like, were y'all born together? Like, are y'all brothers or something? And like, that's the kind of feel I got coming into this year where it's like, and you watch the Packers where it's like, we're doing like quick shovel passes where a running back is lined up on the outside and coming in motion, and Aaron Rodgers is just tossing that bitch to him and he's getting yardage. Or you know, and they had a big emphasis where they wanted every play to look the same, every play action play to look the same. Where they showed it the other night, where it's like, yo, when we went down to score on the Saints to put us up by 10, and they showed how like the play action to where Tunya was on the outside and he wanted to fly out into the flats, and it's like we always ask like, how don't defenses know like this is coming? You know what I'm saying? Like the tight end is gonna flare. He's gonna act like he's gonna block and he's gonna flare out. Whereas though, oh shit, that play action looked exactly how 3 plays ago.
Right.
You actually gave the ball to the running back.
Right.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
what we just watched on Monday night.
Exactly.
That's
you know what
why
I'm saying?
we were so confused because everything.
Yeah,
was
you know
the
what I mean?
same.
Like that shit looks exactly the same.
You know what part of that is?
What's that?
I know that the Packers use different running backs and stuff like that, and different personnel packages. But Sean Payton created an era of copycats that the league has been infested with, of stupid coaches who think they smart, that don't understand personnel groupings the way that they think they do. So they think...
Andy Reid.
Right. They think that when they trot... I just now did a breakdown of Joe Mixon. So we talking about LaFleur. What's the Bengals coach name again? Fucking, what is his name? Oh shit! He's a disciple of the Grudens. I'm blanking. He's not LaFleur though. I don't think he's a truly creative Zach Taylor. I'm not sure he's a truly creative offensive mind. He thinks when I bring out Gio Bernard, I can run this section of my playbook and nobody's going to notice. No, nigga. Every time Gio Bernard is in the game, y'all throw the ball.
We're going to throw that motherfucker for sure.
Right. Part of you not knowing what's coming is that Aaron Jones can run
and catch
and pass protect.
Yep.
The fact that
he's gotten better this year so far as pass protection. Last year he was in, but yeah, I'll go ahead. I'm sorry, but yeah.
So yeah, I'm glad you said that. So at the end of the day, at what point do coaches start to coach again and say, I need to make this player better in all these areas so that he can help my offensive work, offense work, instead of, jumping into the GM meetings and saying, let's make sure we draft this guy because I need somebody for passing downs.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because even to go into this draft with Matt LaFleur, I don't really believe he had a lot to do with this draft.
Which is the way it's really supposed to be.
Yeah, I don't think he had a lot to do.
Unless you're a true personnel genius.
I think it was Gutekunst who had a lot to do with this draft, and of course Mark Murphy who had the selections. Whereas though, like, for instance, with this last game, we had no Devontae Adams, you know what I'm saying? And the way that, like, Aaron Rodgers came out and said that he kept seeing blanket coverage over Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Marquez Valdez-Scantling had, like, I'm guessing here, I think probably as I'm watching, 7 targets for probably like 3 or 4 catches, and they kept like forcing him the ball. And then, like, you just keep seeing, all right, fuck that, y'all gonna do that? We got another guy who we developing, who we've been talking about in training camp, who, again, I don't put too much stock into that because, again, everybody's supposed to talk about everybody in training camp. Alan Lazard came out that bitch and was balling. And even to last year, they were like, could he be number 2? But then in training camp, they were like, Valdez-Scantling is killing. And they're like,
that's real coaching, what you just
you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, it's all right, cool. You want
exactly an example,
you know what I'm saying?
Real coaching.
Exactly. And which I really am liking what I'm seeing from Matt LaFleur, the play calling, the only thing I'm not liking is the predictable downs. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, I don't know, 2nd and 10, and you know what we're gonna do, or like shit like that. But besides that, like, which I'm just nitpicking here, Matt LaFleur has really showed me a lot this year that I'm very excited about. And if we get Kenny Clark and this defense, and we start, because if you also watch our games, we're not getting too much pressure at all. Besides that motherfucking the sack on Taysom, I'm about to say Jason Tatum going to basketball. What's the Saints guy? The quarterback.
You talking about Taysom Hill?
Taysom Hill, yeah. Besides Taysom Hill, I think we might have had one or two other sacks on Drew Brees. And
but see, Sean Payton, that's why I brought him up specifically. Because he outsmarts himself sometimes. And the Saints have had these, the refs stuff to bail out what is a Sean Payton who has been dropping the ball in some of the most important times. And like Taysom Hill trotting out on the field so often when you have Alvin Kamara.
But it's been working though. That's the thing that you got to argue about it.
It had been working.
It had been working.
This year, teams come out and they see Taysom Hill and it looks like they have a plan for it now. We haven't seen a big play from Taysom Hill yet.
Let me ask you a question. When the Dolphins came out and Wildcat, who was the team to be able to stop that?
Are you about to say the Packers?
No, not at all.
Oh, all right, because I was just making sure that you weren't delusional.
No.
We stopped that.
Yo, this league.
As in we, that's the Ravens.
The Ravens. We didn't even play the Dolphins that year.
I was just making sure. I was like,
that's when they had. I'm about to say Ronnie Stanley. What's the running back from Auburn?
It was Rodney though, something like that.
Whatever. We all know
Ronnie, whatever the hell.
Yeah, from Auburn. When he was out there fucking shit up, y'all stopped that joint. And then who does like the Wildcat like that anymore? It's a copycat league. It's a video tape type of league, whereas though we're gonna study. You know what I'm saying? We got these young coaches or these strictly, let me stick to the X and O's and the whole watching tape back in the day type of football where it's like, we're going to figure out how to stop this shit and we're going to practice it. For instance, how we talked about with the Chiefs against y'all, where they had a little underhand pass to the fullback, where it's like, when you're in practice and you're a defense, you like, oh, that shit going to work.
Right.
Like, oh, that shit is definitely going to work.
And that's the thing.
Yeah, and also speak.
That works half the time, most likely.
Right, for sure. And where it's like, when you have, what we did against the Saints is so much motion, so much kind of deceivement, whereas though we're going to put Aaron Jones or Jamal Lewis out wide and bring them in motion, but not have nothing to do with them.
Right.
Where with y'all, Tyreek Hill was in the backfield, sometimes like 5-10 yards behind Patrick Mahomes, where it's like, oh shit, I still got to keep an eye on him, but he has nothing to do with this play.
It's
you know what I'm saying?
To take somebody out of the play.
Exactly. It takes one person to bring down a runner.
Right. And you know what? That is like when you see innovative offense. And I think I teased it in the beginning and I'll tease it again, is that we're going to see the video, but there's not enough innovative offense. So I just give Matt LaFleur credit for trying to be that guy. I really do. I
don't know if you remember what my word was before we got the last year, Mike McCarthy, what I kept harping on.
What?
Wink, don't blink knows this, but it was innovation.
Yeah, yo.
Like we were so bland. It's so bland.
It's not that hard, but what happens is these coaches, at the end of the day, they're millionaires, dog. I heard a story about Adam Gase. Part of what makes him such an asshole is that one of the things that he loves the most about his status is how rich he is that he's literally told people, fuck it, I'm rich.
Really?
Shit like that. And that's the thing that can be easy to forget because every time players get a contract, we see it on the news, which is, again, something that frustrates me about the NFL.
Shouldn't everybody money?
Because why do we even have to know how much these guys make? It's so funny.
We want to know how much everybody makes.
Right.
Rappers, CEOs.
But why? But this is the thing, right? It'd be a whole new podcast if I go down this rabbit hole. But nobody has their contracts reported like athletes.
But also, nobody has their day-to-day or their work on television.
No, I agree that it's part of what you do, right? But my thing is, why do you think these guys have poor relationships with family members?
Because you talking about coaches and players?
Players. Why did Sean Taylor get killed? is because people know he's a multi-millionaire. And it's not like we wouldn't know if you stop reporting the contracts, right? But I think it feeds into this really subtle greed that's always been present in our country because it's a rich country. Mm-hmm. But it seems to be like the media wants us to be like, the media wants us to use how much a player makes as part of their judgment. You get paid $500,000 every time you get a carry.
Right.
Why the fuck you don't have 1,500 yards?
But I think that also goes into it being a salary cap driven league, and the fact that like I can't pick up. I'm bringing Packers in. I want Odell bad as shit. You know what I'm saying? Like we might not be able to get Odell because he's making $18 million a year. You know what I'm saying? Whereas though, if you're over at Google and you pay this, accountant $300,000 a year, you're Google. Like you don't have a salary cap that's going to hinder you from whatever. And also, the accountant at Google isn't wearing fucking VVS chains and fucking, you know what I'm saying?
They are, but we probably don't see it. So
maybe, yeah.
This is the thing, though, right? So we're gonna take this somewhere for a second. I'm only gonna get to the tip of the rabbit hole, then I'm pull out.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what she said.
I was waiting. So look, right? Why do we need? So salary caps, just like minimum wages, are to make broke people think that they are equal, but they aren't needed. And actually, without them, you would actually raise competition. Because in the NFL, I might not have actually as good of a point as I would have in like everyday life. If you don't have a minimum wage, right? Minimum wage essentially makes it easier to collude against you. So if
all we gotta pay you is this,
right? So if I can set the cap for what you should make if you fucking wash toilets, it doesn't allow you to be the best toilet washer and make $20 an hour because like you're extremely good at it. It means that you'll be capped at $7, so you'll give me $7 an hour work, which means everybody who takes a shit sees the last person's shit because you barely clean it. You know what I'm saying? So competition would say, I don't have to keep working for you guys because I'm the best toilet washer that has ever washed a toilet. And this other company over here cares so much about how their toilets look, they're going to pay me $20. So it would make this other company say, shit, if we want people to
I like what you did there.
Come to our business
shit
and really, I didn't even know I was doing it. If we want people to respect our toilets and our bathrooms, we're going to have to be competitive because toilet washers are getting good at their jobs.
Right.
So at the end of the day, like the salary cap is just to make the broke teams of the NFL in the bad markets feel like they can be competitive. But without it, it wouldn't be much different of a league. The difference would be is really that's why I said I don't have as good of a point.
Yeah, I'm about to say
you would become
football.
the Yankees because
I was
the
about to say
Cowboys would just pay everybody.
Yeah, I'm about to say,
also
the Packers,
football though, it's hard to survive with 11 talented guys who aren't together though.
Right. Yeah. The football is the ultimate team sport.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Whereas though other sports like basketball, one player can carry a team to a championship. Not baseball per se, because you need so many, working pieces. But football is the one sport for sure where you're like, this team and baseball, where this team has to be together in order to make this common goal come together. The highest
salary would not guarantee you the win. Like
not at all.
And possibly some of the other sports. So maybe football even does fit that, but I don't have that in my mind.
Because even if it was, like you said, if there was no salary cap, the Packers wouldn't have Aaron Rodgers.
No, that's probably very true. If there was no, one of the weirdest thing, as I bring it back to, because we kind of been talking about our favorite teams a lot, but it's relevant because they're some of the best teams in the league, is that Steve Bisciotti is one of the, Art Modell,
he's horrible,
was part of like the founders of the league and a very rich man.
For sure.
So when it came to free agency and stuff like that, like we got players. Steve Bisciotti is like a billionaire who's very wealthy, very successful, and has had no problems with just like writing checks for anything.
Right. I said he's horrible. No, I'm thinking of the Orioles owner.
I knew that you didn't mean to say it, so I was just like, whatever.
What's his name? What's the Orioles? What's the lawyer?
Oh my God, Angelos.
Oh my goodness.
Because also,
oh my goodness,
how he became a rich lawyer is a story for another day. He is not a good person.
I did not mean that Steven Scott is horrible. I meant that
you was thinking of Andrew.
I was thinking
a
about.
Horrible person. Mm-hmm. So at this point, we've established through the rambling, and I hope people have had fun listening because I think we've talked about some fun shit.
Right.
That let's just take it there. The Packers Chiefs is like the two best teams, NFC, AFC. I didn't mean to hit the mic there. Sorry. So would that be your Super Bowl?
Right now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right now it probably will be my Super Bowl. But I mean, however, like you said, the Ravens, I'm damn sure I ain't counting the Ravens out. Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, of course, in week 3 going into week 4, the Chiefs and the Packers. Next week it could be the fucking Ravens and the Seahawks. You know what I'm saying? But like right now, that's what I'm going with. But we need Kenny Clark, man.
Okay.
I'm not sure if fans or people who listen know how big of an impact Kenny Clark is into the interior.
Nobody cares about defensive tackles.
Dog, the way he got paid like he was supposed to. You know what I'm saying? UCLA guy, and he really stops the run and is able to contain. And the reason, if I know sure folks, I'm not sure if folks watched the game last night or on Sunday night. How is it Darius Smith was all over the defensive line, standing up in the middle, to the left, to the right. If Kenny Clark was there, that motherfucker would have been on the right side of the line the whole fucking night. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had to adjust to that, so which doesn't excuse the poor tackling at all.
How missing a player can take another good player out of what you're best at.
Exactly.
That can fuck your defense up.
Because Darius had a pretty bad game up until that fumble.
Mm-hmm.
I think he had like 2 tackles and a forced fumble that game. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and I'm not blaming him. It's because he had to go other places.
When you start to, and if that's not your role, but you're just the best guy who can to do it, that's a fucked up situation. For
Christian Kirksey got hurt from the Browns. This thing is known for injuries. Mm-hmm. This thing is out like 3 weeks. Like. Yeah. He's our middle linebacker who gets all the calls and everything. We had to switch that shit up. So
and he's a good player.
No, but he can't stay healthy. He just can't stay healthy. And that's just frustrating. You know what I'm saying? And I was kind of skeptical when we signed him this year, huh?
Like Van Der Esch kind of guys.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's Sean
Lee
for sure.
Boy, Sean Lee, goddamn.
Sean Lee for sure.
I thought this was a good conversation, but let's make sure we do some rapid fire real quick for people who made it this far, which I hope is most people real quick, right? Because we've talked so much NFL and we haven't really talked about Russell Wilson. So let's have a very quick MVP discussion so that we can talk about this a little bit because that brings in some of the guys we haven't talked about. Who is the MVP of the league right now? Go.
Russell Wilson. For sure. He has no defense. He's having to put up 30. I mean, if you just watch it, again, stats, I'm a stats guy. If you know me, you know I'm a stats guy. However, I also watch the game. So I understand, like we said before, what makes stats. And Russell Wilson continuously, like I said, I'm not saying I was a big fan, but I was a hater. I will admit I was a hater of Russell Wilson. And the fact that I didn't even know that he never got an MVP vote is fucking crazy. I don't understand how that's even the case.
Well, for real,
you don't think he should have got MVP vote last year?
Last year?
Yeah.
No.
What?
don't.
He had a rookie DK Metcalf, a TJ Lockett. Did we think TJ Lockett was going to be TJ Lockett? He had Chris Carson. Maybe. He had Chris Carson and I can't remember.
DK Metcalf though.
I mean, he was.
I was like, oh damn, this ain't gonna work.
You know what I'm saying?
But he made it happen.
Dog, the Russell Wilson carries that team.
All right, so here's my thing on Russell Wilson last year is that it doesn't matter what happens going forward. It doesn't matter because it's just about 2019. And I feel like some people were trying to make the Russell Wilson MVP discussion last year, to me, had too much to do with his career. Almost that like, as the best quarterback that year and doing what he was doing, it was almost like he deserved the MVP. And to me, Lamar Jackson made a case that everybody with a vote should have voted Lamar Jackson. I really do believe that. You know what I mean?
Oh, you know what? Okay. I take that back. The fact that, okay, I agree. I do agree with that. I totally agree with that.
Because
I totally agree with that.
In every way that you define MVP, this is not me being a homer. This is my true belief. In every way that you define MVP, Lamar exemplified it. You know what I mean? Most valuable position, most valuable player. Right. You take Lamar off the Ravens, and people don't think this to be true because we have a defensive identity that makes a lot of people feel like we're a dominant, decent defensive team. Lamar made our defense better because they were hardly ever on the field, and they put almost every team that we played in a position to play from behind, which made it easier for our defense to know how to play. There's people saying right now after the Chiefs game, after seeing the Titans game, after the Chargers playoffs game, that the Ravens don't know how to play from behind. And that's because guess what? We fucking don't. Especially our defense.
But also with that game the other night, I blame a lot of that on y'all. I'm about to say Greg Roman.
That's the thing. Which is true. But this is what I mean is that if Lamar is not running our offense up and down the field and putting a bunch of points up on the board, our defense has struggles to play in a tight game because we can't rush the passer.
I saw a stat that said when y'all trailing by 10 or something, y'all like 0-6.
Yeah, because our defense cannot rush the passer. That's the thing. Like Matt Judon, we have he's franchise tagged, but he is not a true dominant pass rushing force.
I agree.
So with him as your best rusher, I would challenge anybody to name who our next best pass rusher is. That's what we brought in Calais Campbell for. But at the end of the day, he's extremely old. Eric Wolf is,
very
old and shit like
Denver
that. Both of those guys, when they old like that, still good against the run, but they not fucking bringing down pass rushes and shit like that. Also, we have like a bad pass rushing scheme. The 3-4 is not what it used to be. So at the end of the day,
we still run that too,
right? And I don't and look, I don't want to find myself going back on this on this tangent. But at the end of the day, I say all this to say, I do have a slight thing about Russell Wilson, and there's that. I'm not extremely impressed with what he's doing right now, and I know how crazy that sounds. But that's based on the fact that, like, defense in the NFL right now is not really good.
But my counter to that is he's had to put up the points he's had to put up because his defense hasn't been that good.
That's the facts, right? But at the same time,
but for a few years he's had to do that.
Nah, like that's the thing. I get all that. But what we get into is into the territory where you and I have gone back and forth in this for years when it came to Aaron Rodgers. That like
my defense is shit. Tom Brady and them got all that.
Some of it is kind of empty. It's the reality of it. Like Shannon Sharp says it all the time about Dak Prescott and shit like that.
Empty calories.
A lot of it is. A lot of it is that it's just so easy.
But wait, but I don't think I agree with that because there's Russell Wilson comes back from game. It's not like Russell. It's not like Russell Wilson. When Russell Wilson has game winning drives, it's not like they're down 14 most of the time and has to come back.
But here's the thing. Here's why it is similar. The reason why Dak, once he starts to do it, it's empty calories, is because the Cowboys switch the game plan once they're down.
Right.
And that's the place that Russ used to be, where it was like they were going to run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, run the ball.
Now we need you.
And now they down by 14. Russ, we need you. So now it looks like a comeback. Whereas if you have him just throwing the whole time, the whole fucking game, now you got a 35-30 win. And it's like, damn, Russell Wilson, yo. And that was the thing I used to kind of like say to you about like Aaron Rodgers is that like, it's so easy nowadays that like really you can win a lot of games like that. But once you start to get to the playoffs where it's harder to win that way, the refs are going to let receivers, corners, they're going to let you hand fight and shit like that. They're going to let defensive linemen beat you up a little bit more. They're going to let a lot of shit go. Playoffs in every sport is about the same. Refs pretty much know it's time to let the players play, right? And it has to be egregious for me to step in and try to affect this game. That is like the unwritten rule of ref in the playoffs. Once you get to that point and you're not getting as much help and coaches are coaching harder, right? Everything is so much more focused. It is so much harder to win just throwing the ball. It just is. I believe the stat is that the Chiefs are the first team to win a Super Bowl with like less than 25 carries a game average or some shit like that. So it's just extremely hard.
But that hasn't been Russell's fault they couldn't run the ball.
This is the thing. I'm not saying that it's not. The thing is, if the Seattle Seahawks still wanted to be a run first team, they could be. They are actively deciding not to be that.
But with Russell Wilson, you're not a run first team. Russell Wilson is a top.
I agree. That's the
three,
thing.
top two.
That's the thing.
Quarterback in the league.
We've all seen that though.
You know
I think we've all known that. It's just taking Pete Carroll to just go ahead and let it be. But in reality, he did let it be. He let Russ cook before. I seen it. We all seen it.
So okay,
you know what I'm talking about?
What
am I talking about?
He let Russ cook.
Yeah, when he let Russ cook.
You talking about Super Bowl?
Yeah. And what was that? That was a fucking interception.
No,
that ball should have went to one of the best running backs of all time.
For sure.
And Russell Wilson has 2 Super Bowls never cooking. Hardly cooking. Just barely cooking.
He got 2 Super Bowls. He got 1.
No, what I'm saying
is... Oh, if
he
he would have got that. Oh, yeah.
Let Marshawn Lynch run that ball.
But everybody knows that.
And he was microwaving.
Everybody knows that. He got them down there. He got them down there. Marshawn did.
Tom Brady got 3 Super Bowls microwaving.
I don't even get
Every Super Bowl after the first 3 was difficult because he was cooking instead of microwaving. Reality is football don't change that much. So, like, I'm not saying that Russell Wilson is not a good quarterback, not a great quarterback, and I'm definitely not saying he's not the MVP right now because he is. But
I was going to ask you, you already answered that.
He is the MVP. He is the MVP. If season ends right now, he's MVP. But I am going to still wait and see when it comes to this whole throwing it all the time. Like,
but he does that. That's the thing. But he throws the pill for sure.
Yeah, like right now, it's in levels that we haven't seen. Last year, they were still trying to hand the ball to Chris Carson and shit like that.
Last year, I did check the phone. He had 4,100 yards, like 30-something touchdowns and 5-6 picks on like 66% completion percentage.
Anytime you cross 30 touchdowns threshold, you had a good year.
Hell yeah, he did. You know what I'm saying? And like Chris Carson got hurt last year too. And I can't remember who the running back who came in though. But again, they had a rookie DK Metcalf, TJ Lockett, who a lot of folks was like, last year I'm talking, a lot of folks would have been like, TJ Lockett, like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? And Bobby Wagner on defense. And then, so besides that, it's like, that's also why we were talking about the best team in MC, and I was like...
But also, the thing is that he lost some games where it was down to the wire and it was on him. The 49ers game.
It's the 49ers. It's the 49ers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta respect the 49ers. They whooped our asses twice last year.
But at the end of the day...
They whooped a lot of asses.
This is the thing. Year. This is the thing that quarterbacks always get away with.
And it's a divisional game.
This is starting to remind me of the days where we used to fight you tooth and nail about Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
quarterbacks always get but you ran into so-and-so, right? But when they beat that team, it just...
But that's what...
That's why he the MVP.
Right. But that's why it makes it so crazy.
Like, oh, it's okay. He was supposed to.
I don't say it's okay, but that's why... we played the Seahawks one time. I think Aaron Rodgers had like 101 passing yards. And I was like, damn, this motherfucker didn't even throw at Richard Sherman. I was upset about that. You know what I'm saying? And there's other games like when we played the Seahawks or the 49ers, I'm like, damn, like last year, we couldn't fucking stop a nosebleed. They was running all over us. How was that Aaron Rodgers' fault when he's on the sideline just watching?
But no, I don't blame, personally, I don't blame the quarterback when you lose to those teams. I'm just saying that if they win those games, it becomes a part of their legend.
Right.
But when they lose those games, right, it's like, okay, you were supposed to.
But then it happens in a lot of sports and a lot of great players. You know what I'm saying? But unless your name is LeBron James.
I think it's part of just that we make excuses for the greatest players, whichever way we can, depending on who it is and stuff. And if you get the media behind you on that excuse, it makes it even easier to make it. But me personally, I feel like, look, if you're that great, if you walk on water, and for me, honestly, personally, in my lifetime, the only guy that I've seen truly overcome everything is Patrick Mahomes. Honest to God.
What do you mean overcome everything?
He overcomes everything.
This is gonna be a long.
He won the MVP with
2 All-Pros.
He won the MVP. When we talk about like, oh, the defense sucked. The Chiefs that year that he won MVP was probably one of the worst.
Whoa! Let's hark back to 2011.
No, I didn't say ever.
Okay, I'm just saying though, because we at that time had historically the worst defense of all time, yardage wise, and Aaron Rodgers. No, at that time, from 2011 to 1960, whatever, when football started.
But in the playoffs, your defense played better.
Yo, we got knocked down the first round by the 49ers with Colin Kaepernick.
2000. I thought you were talking about your Super Bowl year. That was
no, 2010. Yeah. Right. 2011
okay.
is when the Colin Kaepernick, I think y'all played in the Super Bowl that year? I think.
No. We got knocked out.
Yo, we got fucked up that year.
Billy Cundiff missed the field goal.
Against the Patriots?
Yep.
Yeah. So, like, I lost my train of thought what we were talking about. I got so excited real quick.
Defense is being a quarterback overcoming a horrible defense.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to Pat Mahomes and you got like
the Chiefs are the first team to ever
the whole Russian shit
be down by 2 touchdowns and win by 2 touchdowns.
Fuck Jimmy Garoppolo
in history.
Fuck Jimmy Garoppolo and his fucking.
But not just this. Every team they played in the playoffs.
Oh yeah,
down.
By
2 possessions.
The fucking Houston,
right?
Who
and
else?
Then they ended up
Tennessee,
and 49ers all had them down by double digits, and they won by double digits. That is a true. I overcame whatever the fuck you threw at me, which is why.
But is that overcoming, or is that you dug us in a hole first? Now your ass got to get us out this hole.
Oh, it's part of that too. I mean, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you down?
He threw some. It
wasn't two interceptions
it wasn't
against
like
the Super Bowl.
He didn't have any interceptions.
Right.
Like
and so it was like, damn, this thing, Pat Mahomes is killing. They still down 2 touchdowns.
But that's what I said coming into this year. As like, the thing about Pat Mahomes is that he'll give you a chance to win. Honestly, for me, as a former Pat Mahomes fan, because now they're in our way. Last night was the sharpest game of his career that I've ever seen. Oh yeah,
for sure. For sure.
It was like
he was getting
hella high water.
Yes.
When we did seem to have everything figured out. We were hitting him as he was throwing.
Marlon Humphrey smacked him.
Seemed to still land perfectly.
But you're right. Because even the pass to McCole Hardman and he got hit by Marlon Humphrey.
Right, and
we both talked was like we both said, well, damn. He just threw that bitch into like a spot.
No, he did.
Because McCole Hardman was I don't remember who's guarding him, was well ahead of whoever was guarding him. You know what I'm saying? Like now, Pat Mahomes is a beast, man. I hate when you have this conversation. It's like I gotta find shit to, knock a nigga or whatever.
Through 3 games, you can't.
But against the Chargers, you probably can.
Yeah. In like the last going like we was
They won in overtime on a 58-yard kick. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's true. I mean, when you start to go back through history, recent history, he's had some moments where if the other team seizes the opportunity, that's a win.
Right.
But that's what I mean, is that like he overcame everything.
And football is a game of inches.
I haven't seen Russell Wilson do that. He already is a champion, but he's a champion on a team that almost like people almost don't even get credit for because
they had the run game and the defense.
People almost
Russell,
like you wouldn't even realize that he had a Super Bowl.
Russell Wilson is the second best player in the league.
He probably is. He's the MVP this year. I'm fine with him winning it as well.
But that's the thing, though, is like if with him being the second best player in the league, you sure is knocking him.
No, I don't. Nah, I get that people will hear this and they'll think that. I don't know, man. Like
I don't know what Russ like when you look at that team. Of course, this year you can see their offense is like, damn. Well, Chris Carson's hurt now. 1 or 2 weeks he's on my fantasy team. Goddamn.
On mine too.
Yeah, you know, and you got DK Metcalf balling, which that game should have been close if he would have fucking ran into the end zone. You know what I'm saying? And then you got and then like like the 3 quarterbacks, Russell Wilson to me is at the top, and then right now it's probably Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Pat Mahomes as far as deep ball throws. Russell Wilson puts that bitch on the money.
Yeah, I mean, at
like
this point,
in tight spots.
Deep ball thrower, nobody's more accurate because it's so hard to be efficient, and he is an efficient.
He puts that shit on the money.
Yeah, it's
on TJ Lockett is all of 5'11".
Yeah,
and he have a receiver with like being able to touch him, and he puts that. And I'm also dating back to last year because I remember this happened a few times last year. He puts that, and we beat them in the playoffs, by the way. He puts that bitch on the money to TJ Lockett.
No, he does.
And he does that repeatedly. You know what I'm saying?
So here's my thing though, right? Y'all beat them last year. Mm-hmm. Mahomes, the Patriots beat them, but for the most part, he's looked unbeatable a lot. I want to keep Mahomes out of it. I'm almost just saying his name to keep people who are listening from like being like, but you're not talking about Mahomes. Mm-hmm. Let's just put him out of the equation. Russell Wilson has been beat.
He won 11-5 last year. What? They won that. They didn't win the division. The 49ers won at 13-3. It was number one in the NFC.
What was the Chiefs' record when Mahomes won MVP?
Was it 13-3? What was his record? I don't know.
I thought it was 13-3 or like 14-2, something like that.
It might have been something, yeah.
Lamar went 14-2.
14-2 last year.
You know, Tom Brady has went 16-0.
Mm-hmm. Aaron Rodgers went 15-1.
Aaron Rodgers have been 15-1.
Mm-hmm.
Peyton Manning.
What was his best record? 14-2?
I think he's been 14-2.
Was he 14-2 with the Broncos?
I don't know, but he's been like 14-2, 13-3, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Russell Wilson has been beat. That's my whole thing, is that like, if he does it this year, then I'll shut the fuck up. Mm-hmm. And that's not like I'm not trying to be the loud person in the room about it in the first place. I'm not trying to be like the Russell Wilson distractor in the room in the first place. Mm-hmm. All I'm saying is that it's because he already has a Super Bowl. The casual fan might not even realize it. The media, because he already has it, they have already put him on a certain level. Mm-hmm. But his like overcome whatever the fuck you throw at me, this is his year to do that. He has not actually done that. I
feel like
yet.
He has done that though. I feel like he's done against the Cowboys a few times. I feel like he's done against his own division a few times.
But he's never been as this version of Russell Wilson has never been best record, second best record in the league. No shit like that. It just hasn't happened. That's all I'm saying. So like, it makes me be like, okay, is it possible to fix? Now, I also admit that he may have been totally just hindered by a coach that may have helped him have L's that would have been W's if they would have just let him cook. Because the let Russ cook thing so far is going swimmingly.
Yeah. He went 13-3 his second year in the league. And then went 12-4 the year after that.
His second year in the league was when they won the Super Bowl.
Starting his career 11-5, 13-3, 12-4, 10-6.
They went to the Super Bowl those 2 years.
Yeah,
13-3, 12-4.
10-5-1, 9-7, 10-6, 11-5. But also, as I look at this, I'm like, this thing has never lost less than 9 games and been to the playoffs every year he's been in the league.
But see, this is what I'm. But without you, but I know you're not really like. You just looking at it.
Mm-hmm. I literally just looked at it.
But at the same time, you're helping me make the point that I'm trying to make, that the best of Russell Wilson, 13-3, 12-4, was the height of Legion of Boom, Marshawn Lynch, Seahawks. Mm-hmm. Russell Wilson does not have on his resume the 13-3 year or better that is all him. It's just not there. So I'm not even trying to say that he's not that guy. Mm-hmm. He's the MVP. And I would take Mahomes, Russell Wilson. Only reason I'm not going to say A-Rod is he old. Because if
35,
if you're telling me that right now I'm starting a team, give me Pat Mahomes flat out.
So if we got starting a team for 1 year, this 1 year, what's your
if it's
team?
just 1 year, give me Mahomes. Mm-hmm. Give me Russell Wilson. Because they've done it. Mm-hmm. Right? Give me Aaron Rodgers. Mm-hmm. Boy, I would say Brady back in the day.
I'm talking right now. This year.
Yeah, we talking about right now, this year.
You probably go Lamar.
But Lamar hasn't done it.
He hasn't. But if you had a 1 year and you're the 4th overall pick in a draft, you're going to take Lamar.
1 year, I got the 4th overall pick. No, I can't do that.
Who are you going to take?
I got 1 year, 4th overall pick to win the Super Bowl, and the first 3 picks have been some version of Mahomes, Russell Wilson.
We're going to take Drew Brees or Brady?
Because I've seen 2020, it's hard for me to say Drew Brees or Brady because they both look fucking geriatric. Mm-hmm. I might take Watson, Kyler.
I forgot about Watson. No.
Watson, Kyler, Lamar.
So wait, how do you take Watson and Kyler over Lamar, and you say Lamar hasn't done it, and Watson ain't did shit?
No, they haven't done it either. But listen, it's not that I'm not nowhere near those people who ride the whole Lamar can't throw thing. Mm-hmm. So it's not that Lamar can't throw or Lamar ain't a quarterback or no shit like that. It's that I'm a Ravens fan and I've watched so much Lamar that like the rest of my team I feel like has to be so good for me to feel extremely confident about that. So if I just said to myself, look, what guy could overcome it if the rest of my team isn't fucking just stacked? I start going to Deshaun Watson in other places.
Okay.
That's the only reason. But if you're telling me I'm about to get Lamar Jackson and I know what the rest of my team is and I'm not, yeah. Because if my team is nice, and you know what? You got to tell me who my offensive coordinator is before I tell you if I take Lamar. Yeah. Tell me who my offensive coordinator is, and then I'm taking Lamar 4th.
He's Frank Reich.
Nah, I'm good on Lamar.
You're like Frank? Oh, no, I'm bad saying this. What? Why not? What's wrong with Frank?
So yeah, if this turns out to be awkward, bear with us. This was such a fun conversation that we was going on and on and on, and I kind of realized that we might have reached a point that even the most just passionate
Listening ass niggas.
listener is like, I'm about to go to sleep. So look, I mean, we will continue these kind of conversations. Y'all know this. Y'all been seeing it. The content is coming back in a big way. I almost want to just give y'all mercy because even me and Dev over here with the yawns and stuff like that, right? it's late on our side.
It's 1:20 a.m.
Get out of here.
Look.
Get out of here.
I gotta work from home in the morning.
Yeah, man, and other things are going down. So look, man, we appreciate y'all talking. We appreciate y'all listening to us talk, right? And it's about time to sign out. I'm gonna let Devin do the sign off, man. Whatever comes to you, brother.
Yeah, man. Hey, I appreciate y'all who, got to us at this point of listening. You know what I'm saying? It's been fun. So I'm gonna go ahead and sign out. This is Dev and Lakers in 5.
Right, because we never got the NBA. So I hope he right. Lakers in 5. We appreciate y'all. Good night.
Good night, fam.